Well, hello everyone. How is everyone doing today? I thought I would film a ship with me video for my Whatnot orders. I had a Whatnot sale last night, Sunday, part of the estate sale extravaganza too. I had the 7 p.m. slot and sold everything. A lot of people there, so it was a really great event. It was a 3-day event. So Misty and Amy, who organized it, that was a lot of work. Going all weekend long and 51 sellers. So yeah, and I sold 28 items and I had 3 giveaways. Oh God, I was so upset. My big giveaway, because Whatnot sponsored giveaways for us. I mean, we were given a small amount to do a good giveaway, and then I had 2 others, and we pay the shipping on that, so there's that too. And I had the UNESCO head vase, and here I am at the end of the show. Got everything done. Let's roll the giveaway. And then I must have accidentally hit my phone and it started to draw for the giveaway, like literally right after I started it. So most people didn't get a chance to enter, but it was this. Yeah, it was this. So whoever got in there quick, it was Karia in Washington. She was the winner, so she was lucky to get that right there. So I felt it was a very rushed feeling, a little pressure, because you went into the sale before you and just did a quick little introduction, which then that was embarrassing too, because I did it and I'm on the screen. Everybody's like, flip your camera, Ann, flip your camera around, turn your camera around. And so then I did, so I couldn't see myself. I'm like, well, I don't know what's going on. And then at the end, they're like, oh, ha, 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 there you are, because I turned it around again. I'm like, you told me to flip it around. So I was annoyed. But I think everybody had a really good weekend. And the big picture is that hopefully more buyers came to the site, because right now it's very seller heavy and you need more buyers. So that is good. The other thing is that I had my Whatnot planner in the background, and some people went and bought it off Amazon. So yay. So I had double. I sold, did I say it? $571 in sales. Now that does not include fees. And then I have to cover the shipping for the 3 giveaways I did. But again, it was more about building an audience, bringing people in. We got to tuck in all the spots. Does that mean I will be doing more Whatnot? The answer right now is probably not, because I don't have anything good. You know, I talked about this in my last video. You need to bring the good stuff. You got to bring the good stuff. And I really don't have, all my good stuff was last night, which I did go out and source specifically for. So there's that. I think, like I said in my last video, if you're a full-time reseller and you are sourcing a lot and you're finding good things and you're running a volume business, Whatnot can be fantastic. You have to work. You got to build your audience. We're now wrapping in bubble wrap. Round 1, you got to build your audience. So there's way more work involved right now than there is if you just list things on eBay, Poshmark, Etsy, Whatnot, because you list it and so there's a lot of work involved. Does that mean that it can't be done? Absolutely not, because there are people who are doing really well over there. I've talked about Sandy, my flippin' van life, Misty, because they are very skilled at and committed. I shouldn't even say skilled, they're committed to doing the promo work that you need to do to build up a following, get people to your sales. So it's a lot more work, I suppose, than traditional reselling. So you've got to love it. And I think Sandy and Misty love it. They love it. And that's awesome. And there are other people who love it. So if it's something that you love, awesome. And I still think, give it a try. Here's the other thing I want to talk about. People who haven't gotten accepted, they applied. The thing I've heard now is that it is a lot to do with the category you apply under. So you can sell on any category you want. I have these Whatnot stickers and magnets that I had made up, and now I'm like, am I gonna sell on Whatnot? I have all these promo things. What category you apply in. You can sell in any category, but when you apply, you've got to pick a category. And apparently clothing is so saturated that people are not getting in, even if they have a good record. The estate sale and estate sale and vintage decor category is still very much open. So if you applied in one category and you didn't get accepted, you might try applying in another category, one that's less saturated. Where's my trash can? It's over here. Bringing it back. Bringing it back. And yes, I am cutting and taping my labels because I have to print out my packing slips, and I'm not going to waste Dymo label paper because I got to coordinate who's getting what. So I don't want to hear it from anybody. Cut and tape, and I have a lot of supplies to use up. I will put my seller referral link down below. If you've applied and you were turned down and you want to try again, you can try my link and apply in a different category. If you tried clothing recently, you're probably not going to get in. There's a lot of other categories. Pick an unpopular category. Try it. Okay, I sold these little vintage salt and pepper shakers for $10. Where did I get these at? I don't know if I got these at my brother's shop or I don't even know. So I'm going to wrap each one in packing paper and tuck, tuck, tuck into all the little crevices, okay? Yeah, tuck, tuck, tuck. Oosh. I overpack as well. I overpack. I could probably just put these with some bubble wrap and they'd be fine, but no. Plus, like I said, I'd hoped to be more active on Whatnot than I now feel I'm going to be. So I had purchased some more shipping stuff. So we'll just use it up and that's okay. I don't want anybody to think that I'm bashing Whatnot at all. I'm not. I think it's a great platform for some people to sell. However, I think it's a fantastic platform to shop on if you find good, trusted sellers. And that's the key. You can go in there all day long and find deals, but you might find it's somebody that's not very good at shipping and all the things. So you gotta find the people who are experienced sellers, who've got good feedback. You know, you can tell a lot by a person. How well are they running their show? If their show is a hot mess, their shipping and customer service is probably going to be a hot mess too. Nicely tucked in there. Put a little more bubble wrap on the top to overdo it. A lot of people who are shopping are also sellers. So I feel like right now, it's okay to give them all the extra packing material. Maybe they'll use it. So I got my packing slip. I fold it like this. And then I'm putting a magnet and sticker in every package. That's what I'm doing. Some people don't like the way I ship, and maybe I don't like the way you ship. You always get comments, don't put a packing slip in. Well, I want to put a packing slip in because it keeps me organized on my end. When my dad did my shipping, it was an added layer of protection because he could then look at the packing slip and make sure the packing slip was with the right label. So this is what worked for us. And taping the labels also works. I don't know why I feel the need that I have to defend myself, but I just know there'll be somebody like, put it in the comments. Well, listen, Linda, I got 8 bazillion rolls of tape to use up, so I'm good. I'm good. Save my Dymo or my Rolo labels for my Etsy sticker shop. This didn't sell for much. This little set of the Schmid reproduction Hummels. These sold for $5, the set. I got them at that thrift store that supports adults with intellectual disabilities. So, you know, I'm fine with that. I've said before, I like to shop there and support them. These I'm gonna wrap up in a little tissue paper first because they got more nooks and crannies. And they are porcelain, but they're not as fragile as some things might be. So anyway, some shows in the extravaganza had over 200 people in them. I need my sustenance. I think the hard thing with an event like that is I think 3 days is too much. Personally, because Whatnot was promoting it on day one, Friday. If you went on the site, it was like front and center, great. But then Saturday and Sunday they weren't because there were other events going on. So, you know, I know to be fair to everybody, it's like, okay, well, we'll promote this event. So I think 3 days is too much. In terms of making sure, you know, you get that promotion from Whatnot. So if somebody, and there are other extravaganzas coming up. There's a Petite Palooza for smalls that's coming up. And if you sell on Whatnot, feel free to leave your Whatnot username in the comments below. And the other thing that's happening in the Whatnot for Resellers Facebook group, Facebook groups, I have a Whatnot group for the antique and vintage category, or estate sale and vintage. But there's another group, a big group, Whatnot for Resellers. And of course, put some nice packing paper on the bottom. People were upset that they didn't get invited to the extravaganza. How do they get invited? And oh, it's a click. And the point is that it's not a click, but it's, of course, it's who you know. Like I said, how can people include you in things if they don't know who you are? Because they don't know you. They've never interacted with you. You've never interacted with them. So of course they can't ask you to be a part of something when they don't know who you are. So if you want to be part of the reselling community and have connections where you can be included in events or asked, you have to put yourself out there and be a part of the community. So yeah. Or Whatnot is very eager to work with sellers. So if you want to put together an event, contact them. I'm sure if you got a good idea, they will be more than happy to work with you. But like I put in on the Facebook group, be prepared to work. Because Amy and Misty were promoting this event for weeks. Coordinating things on the back end, putting together social media graphics, following up with people. I mean, it was a whole thing to coordinate this. And then Amy was in the shows all weekend long, Friday to Saturday. She was in every show. So that's a lot. So there's a lot of work. So if you're willing to do all that work to put together an event, contact Whatnot and then get ready to work because it's a job. Anyway, but my books are out and they're actually selling well. I'm very happy. So far with the sales. Sometimes you put the new versions out, it takes a little while for them to get going, but they're doing pretty well. The eBay book and the Amazon KDP book are doing quite well. The YouTube never does like that great, but it's getting there. This little Vaseline glass glowy thing. Where's my little flashlight? My black light. Ooh. This sold for $24. This I got at that little thrift store. I think I paid $7. So that was a nice return on investment for that. The stopper, it's a little chipped off there, but otherwise, nice, nice, nice. I'm gonna start tissue paper first, just to get it all tucked in. You know. What else? My Etsy, I'm doing a lot of back end work on Etsy, trying to fix up the SEO stuff. And if you sell on Etsy, you know the SEO, which is just keywords and tags. I don't know why people have to be all fancy calling it SEO. It's keywords and tags, okay? Tags and keywords. But you gotta get all that together. Yes, I'm using a lot of bubble wrap, but I still have a whole other one to use up. I've been working on the print on demand for Etsy, which is, I haven't sold anything yet. And this is kind of just an experiment for me here to see about print on demand, which is I'm adding my popular sticker graphics to things like mouse pads and coffee mugs, and then putting them on Etsy, but they are manufactured and shipped by another company. So I put the designs up with the other company, and then if somebody orders, they ship it. So it's print on demand. The hard part is finding products that are affordable, because they have some really fun, unique things that you can do, but the cost is so prohibitive. Like playing cards, putting the graphics onto decks of cards. Great idea, except the decks of cards, I would have to charge like $19 to barely make a profit. Yeah, that's not gonna work. So I've been doing mouse pads and coffee mugs. Those are two things that are affordable, I feel like. And they're good gift items. We'll see. If I do this through fourth quarter and I don't sell anything, I'm not going to be really out that much money, and it was a learning experience. But hopefully some things will sell. I had some things that I thought I would try, like tea towels and napkins, but they're so expensive for the customer. And the customers also have to pay shipping on that stuff. I can't do free shipping on that stuff, because then again, I would have to, jack the price up to make it feasible for me to make a profit, so it's not worth it. There's some little bags that I like that I've been able to find that are nice. So mainly it's been mouse pads, desk mats, coffee mugs, and these little bags. I was gonna do some dog bowl or dog feeding mats, pet feeding mats, little mats you put out. But again, I'm kind of like, oh, I don't know what my price would have to be for me to make a profit, This set sold, like this went for $6. This vintage Tilso Japan, like that went for $6. So, and now I gotta spend a lot of wrapping on it. So this is what I talk about, when bringing your best stuff. Would this have done better on eBay? Maybe. How long would it have had to sit on eBay? There's that too. I just think reselling is going to be very tough this year with the economy. The high-end collectors will buy no matter what. So if you've got the higher end stuff, you're usually buffered from that. But how many of us have that? Most of us have more bread and butter things. Or if you do have, where is the steam for this? The nicer stuff, you have to pay up for it. So it's tough. I think Amazon, my books, will do well because they're affordable and people buy them for themselves and gifts, especially under my Jean Lee pen name journals and things that I have. Those are always, they sell well for gifts. I don't know how the Etsy sticker shop will do. I mean, are people going to buy stickers? Maybe they'll buy magnets for gifts. But the print on demand, those other products. Oh my God, I have so many more things to ship. That's really going to be where it's at. I already got a bunch out today. I think I did like 13 last night, and I got those out this morning. Ugh. This is what my struggle here with reselling in general is that I have to do the shipping now because my dad used to, and he can't. He just cannot do it. And so here I am shipping when I could be doing other things, which I know is, you know, for most people, well, yeah, you got to do your own shipping. But again, those people are usually full-time or part-time. I'm hobby at this point. I'm a hobby seller. So this is a lot for me to manage by myself. So, but yeah, I need, after I get this done, I'm going to clean this office because it's a disaster. Pull everything out that I have left for inventory and make a decision. Is it going to go to the consignment store? Am I going to save it? Here's the thing. I would love one day to have a shop. I always my whole life wanted my own little shop. And I envision it as being like an antique store with also vintage inspired and new goods. So you got the new stuff mixed in with the vintage, things like retro candy and, you know, and stickers and all that kind of thing. That's what I've always wanted. Of course, my brother has a store. I don't get to have a store. He has a store. I'm like, why can't I have a store? Because I'm a full-time caregiver. But the other one good thing about his store is that he owns the building and he can open whenever he wants. So he mainly only is on Friday, Saturday, and he's on vacation a lot. So there's that. Like half the time the store's not even open. But he likes to have something to, you know, piddle around with. But I would love to have something where I don't have to worry about it making me money because my books make money. And that I would have a space I could source the antiques that I love and do that. Now, I know people be like, get an antique mall booth. There are no antique malls anywhere near me. The closest one is the Frou Frou one that I've shown you guys, I think, before on like Instagram and stuff. You have to have a theme for that place. So it's not, you know, most antique malls, the booths are almost like, oh, the Bluebirds of Happiness. I didn't even show you. I had 3 Bluebirds of Happiness. I'm sorry. I had 3 of these. They were all slightly different, but they were all the 2-inch. They sold for $30. That was a great sale. But I paid. I bought them at the fancy antique mall. Yeah, you have to have a theme, and it's very expensive, which is, you know, but that's just not, I want to be able to have what I have. So I would love to have ideally be own a building and, you know, but something to think about in the future when my dad is gone, and he won't be here forever, obviously, which is sad to think about, obviously. So it's kind of one of those things, it gives me something to think about and feel like I'm going to have a plan for when I'm no longer a full-time caregiver. You know what I mean? Will it happen? I don't know. But it's kind of something to be like, oh, I could plan it out and this is what I do. And just so when the time comes and he's gone, I'm not left with like, it'll be a shock, obviously, but I'll have my dogs and my schedule will obviously open up a lot more. But then again, you know, people are like, oh, you could travel and things. One thing about traveling that's hard for me, well, first of all, I have my dogs. I don't want to board my dogs. Max and Lucy were used to going to the vet and being boarded for a little bit. And I would always do it around their yearly vaccinations. Plan a trip, around their yearly vaccinations, because all my pugs have had to have their vaccines separated out because they have reactions to them. So it would work out that they would be there and they could separate all the shots, keep an eye on them, while we're on a trip. And even then, you weren't gone for very long. I cannot bear the thought of boarding, especially Teddy. He would just, he's a pandemic dog. He didn't even spend the night at the vet when he got fixed. Took him in the morning and got him that night because, again, COVID. They're just like, we'll get him home to you. So he's terrified of anything and everything. I could not bear to board him, even at the fancy spa places. No. So I wouldn't go anywhere that I couldn't take both of them with me. And how the heck am I going to take 2 dogs with me by myself somewhere? What kind of vacation is that? So, yeah. And of course, they won't be here forever either, but I can't imagine not having dogs. This is not a cheery topic. Okay, this sale was this green apple, and it had the paperweight. It's only sold for 10. I was kind of surprised. But this uranium glass, it glowed like crazy. That sold for 21. So this was a $31 sale. But yeah, you can let me know. Stuff the crevices with tissue paper. As I'm showing you guys this, what you think of the sale prices. Do you think I got good prices on stuff? Would you have priced it higher on eBay? You can let me know. The benefit of this is, yeah, you probably make less, but it's in and out. And everything on the back end is done for you. As soon as the sale is over, Whatnot has your shipping labels ready to go. And you're done. And then once the items are delivered, you get your payment. I think the payment, it's within 24 hours of an item being delivered, you get your payment released. I believe that's how it works. Until you get to 1,000 sales, not $1,000, 1,000 individual sales. Then your money is released as soon as the package shows, I believe that it's tracking, I think is the deal. So you got to ship it out, but once it shows tracking, there you go. You get your money, which is an incentive, obviously, for people to get on there and make sure they're getting stuff shipped out. Oh, please let these people who I'm shipping to be resellers so they can reuse all this packing material. And that's the thing about Whatnot right now. Most of the people on there are also sellers. Not all of them, but a lot of them. Which is why I've said before that you need to bring the good stuff. Because the bread and butter common stuff, they can find on their own. They're looking for things that they can get a good deal on and flip themselves, or things that they genuinely want to collect that they can't find themselves. You know what I mean? You're not going to sell to resellers for top dollar when they too know how to source. But again, it's all so new now. As it grows and more dedicated buyers come to the site, could very well change. And then it'll be anything, all day, every day. Poshmark is in beta with their live sales, so that's interesting. I don't know if you've seen them. They usually have like, I don't know, it seems like they have 5 or 6 shows a day, but they're all in the same time frame. And I'm sure you would think they curated the people who were doing it, but I've been on there and seen some people. I'm like, what is going on? How'd you get on here? But I think Poshmark is feeling the desperation because some of their best sellers have gone to Whatnot because they're making more money there. They're getting more sales. It's a better platform for them. They're full time and they get a lot of stuff. And Poshmark's now like, eBay and eBay Open announced they're gonna start beta testing live sales. Or I guess it's been in beta testing. They're supposed to launch it. But again, the trick or the problem that I think Poshmark and eBay are going to have is the people who are already started on Whatnot and build an audience and working with Whatnot directly have cultivated a good partnership with Whatnot, because there are people who are, working with Whatnot's influencer program. They have the give 10, get 10 referral. But if there's other programs where you can give more money and make more money. And that's a good thing for business. Like, you can't be mad at people who are doing the work to do that. Can you imagine eBay having an extravaganza and giving people prize money? eBay'd be like, what? A prize? How about we send you some eBay pens that you could give away, right? And Poshmark could be the same way. Like, no, here's a sticker. They're not in that space of like, what do you mean we have to work with the sellers and give them incentives? Because there was never any competition. They didn't need to. Now, this guy sold for 15. This was the sad one. My little Lefton teddy bear tree huggers. They only sold for 5. Not tree huggers, candle huggers. They only sold for 5. It's like, those Lefton, they're so cute. Where'd my tissue paper go? So people who are on Whatnot, who are working with Whatnot directly, and you cannot be mad at people for that because those people have been assertive and working with Whatnot. So you can't be like, well, it must be nice to get stuff. Well, because they're doing the work to get it. So, don't be a hater on someone else when they've done the work. I don't even need all this bubble wrap for this stuff. So how's Poshmark going to approach these people who are doing well on Whatnot, being like, hey, you want to come over to Poshmark and have a live sale? And these sellers are going to be like, oh, okay, well, what are you doing for sellers? One really awesome thing that Whatnot is doing is they back sellers. They are team seller. What can we do to take care of sellers? For instance, if there's a problem with an order, I don't know if I've ever had a problem with an order because I haven't heard anything, because people would just contact Whatnot and Whatnot would deal with it directly. They told us you probably won't even know if there's a problem because they're going to handle it. Well, okay, that's awesome. eBay, Poshmark, are you going to handle it? No, that's not how they work. But they're going to, so they don't give any incentive to sellers. They're not going to back the sellers first and foremost. Because their site is built on buyers first. And I agree with that philosophy, because if you don't take care of your buyers, everything goes up in flames. But Whatnot is taking the initiative to back sellers to build a site. And events like the extravaganza, where they partnered and they sponsored giveaways. I can't imagine eBay or Poshmark doing that. Nor do I think I don't know. He also may not be interested. In doing that. So it's going to be interesting to see. Personally, if eBay does launch live auctions, I would love to try it over there. Obviously, I have a large feedback. I'm over 10,000 feedback on there. I don't have anything listed right now. When I pull stuff out, that might be the decision I make here, is do I just want to put some things over on eBay? Because I do like to keep active with eBay. I mean, my biggest selling book is Beginner's Guide to Selling on eBay. So it'd be a good thing to like make sure I know what's going on and just have some things over there. But I'd love to try a live sale on eBay. So eBay, if you're watching, live sale, hook me up, just to try it. Just to try it. Oh, did I forget a sticker and a magnet in there? No, did I? I think I did it. Well, Betsy, I'm sorry if you didn't get a sticker and a magnet. They got buried in my paper. But yeah, I don't know if you watched any of the Poshmark shows, the beta shows. Or I keep saying beta, but you can't just sign up. You can't just start a live sale. So it's people that they're working with directly, which I would assume would be what eBay would do as well. And certainly I would hope that they did. Even if it wasn't me that got in initially, I would hope that they carefully curate who's going to do it. Because it's important for the site as a whole, you know, to maintain that integrity. Okay, these two flower stem vases, they went to the same person. Got this one in, it's kind of like a teal almost. $10 for this, but the blue one got bid up to $23. So these are super pretty. So I have this like flap. I got a flap for it. So wrap them each in packing paper and then into bubble wrap. I don't know how Melissa, Fresh Blooming Clothing, she does her ship with me videos and they're like very long and I'm only been filming for 37 minutes and I'm like, what now? Well, I hope whoever bought this, they're getting some packing peanuts because I have this thing of packing peanuts and random bits of paper to use up, which is gonna look kind of crappy, and I apologize, but I always feel like it's better to get the item there in good condition than the internal buffering. I'm just gonna roll bubble wrap, rolling with the bubble wrap. These are actually pretty sturdy, even though they are blown glass. Tuck them in there, and then put more around it. I'm gonna have to go down and get my other roll of bubble wrap. Twice now, twice. A few weeks ago, I went to the basement to get bubble wrap. Couldn't find it, could not find it. Knew I had it, knew it. I was in tears, thinking I've lost my mind. I can't find the bubble wrap. Where is it? I go down one more time. It's literally right in front of me on a chair. 2 giant rolls of bubble wrap right in Coke Icy from McDonald's, right in my line of sight. So then I wanted to cry again. Why couldn't I find it the first time? Losing my mind. Okay, those are nice and protected. I have a dog. These are marketed as pet food containers. I put my packing peanuts in, and then this is a giant cat litter scoop, because then the static isn't there. And you just scoop, baby, scoop, baby, scoop. Okay. I'm gonna put I'll put a couple sturdy sheets of packing paper over that. And then I have the packing slip, sticker magnet, when I got these from my brother's place, he's like, oh, really in demand. I'm like, well, I mean, you know, one got bid up to 10 and one got bid up to 24. I don't know how much in demand that is, but it's all about who is in the show. I don't know why it took me so long to get one of these. I just got it a few months ago. Denali, I'll do show. She was showing hers. I'm like, where have I been all my life that I didn't have one? So now I have one. And it's helpful. Not just for the whatnot, but for sometimes with Etsy stuff too. If someone orders a big pile of stickers. Okay. Cut the label. Was that a priority? Oh, it was a priority. I'll put some priority stickers on the priority boxes. Can you have too many stickers on a box? No. No. Where do I have got? My mailman's gonna be like, oh. I mean, I guess, I don't know. I never go to the post office. I know people go to the post office like every day. I'm like, I'm home all day. Why don't you just do carrier pickup? I have a box for them to get it. So it's not like I have to be home. But I know if you live in an area where you're not sure about safety, but my post-op man and I, I love him. I'm a postman. Oh my God. I've been very fortunate here to have good carriers, and I've had several different ones. He's great. It's one of those things like you think, gosh, I want to move, but then get different mailman. Then what am I gonna do? So it's like, stay here. I would love to remodel this house. I've talked about wanting to get a newly built house. It'd be better, but then also to make it handicap accessible. It's very hard. Being disabled, and anyone who is disabled, I'm sure will agree with this sentiment, is expensive. The accommodations, the equipment, and you get no help. Like, there's some Medicaid things. Only if you qualify, you have to jump through hoops to get them. I mean, some disabled people are given, people who cannot work, like $800 a month. But then if they try to earn income any other way, oh boy, that's a big one. I'm gonna wait on this. Then they lose their benefits. So it's like, you just can't win. It's awful, awful, awful. The people who should be taken care of the most, people who are disabled, people with chronic illness, who cannot work, who legitimately cannot care for themselves, are just treated like crap. So, this sold for $31. This guy bought 3 big items, but I'm separating them out to ship in a box individually, which Whatnot lets you do. So this is Relpo. Isn't this cute? Paid $31. The bearded picker. No, bearded treasure hunter. There's a bearded picker too. Stuff the cavity with packing. Stuff it. But bearded treasure hunter, I made a joke. I'm like, buy all the hard to ship stuff, dude, in one box. But then you're like, you can separate it out, which I knew, but also hadn't paid attention to. But you can easily separate them out. And what's nice is when you're in your shipping section, there are links to tutorials that Whatnot has created. And one of them is how to unbundle items if you want separate boxes. And it's a nice, short, easy to understand tutorial. So I know people have negative feelings about Whatnot. Like I said before, now I'm sweating. You applied, but you didn't get in. But like I said, now I'm hearing, well, it's because the category you may have applied to is full, which makes sense. If it's saturated, they can't let any more in. And you know, but they really, the company itself is pro seller, 100% pro seller, doing everything they can. So try applying again under a different category. Find some good trusted sellers that you're confident in shopping from, and it can be a great thing. I understand when people didn't get in that they're mad about it. I get it. But don't sleep on it as a place that you could source, especially if, you know, you're someone like me and you really can't get out much, or you live in a rural area, or you have disabilities that prevent you, you know, from going places, or you have small children. There's a lot of opportunity on Whatnot. Whew, I am sweating to death to get some fantastic deals that you can resell. All kinds of people are on there buying things, and then they want to list it on eBay or Poshmark. Find a good sale where there are, you know, numerous items that you want. You can create a bundle. The shipping goes down the more you buy. So, yeah. And like I said, if you want to sell there and you got turned down, apply in a different category. If you sell clothing, find something else. Apply under. Because I don't think if you sell clothing, you're going to get in anytime soon. It is so full. But there are also a lot of clothing sellers over there who are practically giving things away. So, inventory. You gotta do what you gotta do. Okay. Bearded treasure hunter. Here is package number 1. Oh my God. Where is my fan? I think I need to go get my fan. Hey everyone, this video is running so long, I decided to break it into 2 parts. So this was part 1, and then part 2 will go up on Thursday. So if you like this first one, definitely give it a thumbs up, leave any questions or comments, and of course make sure you're subscribed. And I will see you back here on Thursday for part 2. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.